Hi, everybody. Welcome to this live right here at Senora.sarah. If you are here with us live, please pop a comment in the chat and let us know where you're watching from. We would love to hear from you today. And I said we because we have a guest today. That's right. Very exciting. But we're going to introduce him in just a second. We got some cool, interesting stuff to talk about. Tours in Mexico City today. Is it the end of tours with Senora.sarah? And why should you go to Mexico City? We're going to talk about that and a lot more today. Remember, the point of the live today is for you to share your live questions in the chat. Be patient with us as we're going along on our planned subject. We might take a minute to get to your questions, but please pop your questions over in the chat box. So, couple reminders. This is live, but if you are watching after the fact, you can always comment down below the video, and thank you for joining us, no matter if you're watching with us live or if you're watching after the video. It doesn't matter to me. And we're getting ready to post a live video every other Friday, okay? So if you're interested in asking us questions about visiting Mexico City, make sure you join us every other Friday. So today we're talking about tours in Mexico City. Is it the end? Well, I want to show you a little something here. Get ready, because we have a new partner that we're going to be introducing today. It's not the end of tours here at Senora.sarah, but there are some big changes, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So before we introduce him, let's talk about why are we changing things. We're going to talk about that more in upcoming videos, so stay tuned to the channel for a couple of weeks. But one of the dreams I had when I even first came to Mexico is how can I benefit the locals here? Being a person from the United States, I recognize that I have kind of a privilege just being American, right? Earning in dollars and spending in pesos, it's a privilege. And it's great if I can help out local friends in any way that I can, but sometimes you don't really know how. So that's one way. Also, when it comes to me actually giving tours here in Mexico City, it's super fun, but I have some problems. You can see on this list here, I've got some time issues. Number one, I live in Mexico City, but I live super far, like on the edge of Mexico City, where you're probably never going to want to visit because there's nothing interesting to see here. And in order for me to get to you, wherever you are staying in Mexico City, it takes an eternity because the traffic is some of the worst in the world, right? I had this experience about a month ago. I had a tour that I was an hour late to. An hour late because of the traffic, and it was really embarrassing, but thankfully Peter and MJ were very patient. So let's go back to our new partner. About to introduce him in just a second. We want to talk a little about his English skill and his expertise. He is a local Mexican friend, and we're going to get into our beautiful friendship in just a couple seconds here. His English is impeccable, so no pressure, Asael, if you are listening to the impeccable English. So I'm confident that he'll give you a fantastic experience when you visit Mexico City. And also what I love about him is he lives right in the heart of Mexico City, and so he can get down, these boots on the ground, he can get right into the middle of Mexico City and really dig in thoroughly and check out all of the places in a way that I can't. I can only get into the city center a couple times a month, and for him, he's there like every single day, so he can really find out things for you. So without further ado, let's talk to our friend, our new tour partner, Asael. Welcome, Asael. How are you?
Hey, Sarah. Thank you. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction and for having me here today. I'm so excited.
What a nice house that you're in.
Oh, thank you. It looks like yours, actually.
Yeah, we have similar tastes. Welcome.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I can tell.
it's so nice to have you. Let me see if we can get both. Oh, yes, we can. We can get both of us up next.
Oh.
So the first thing I wanted to do was just tell us a little about you. Tell us about your work to start off. And how did you learn English? Let's start off with those two questions. People are definitely going to want to know, right?
Sure. Thank you. So, my name is Azael, and I live here. I've been living here.
Oh, we lost him for a second. Asael, we only heard. Sorry, Asael. Can you hear me?
And I love it.
Hey, Asael, can you hear me? Sorry, everybody. We're having internet trouble today. It's raining in Mexico City today, so that causes issues. Okay, we've lost him for a second. Don't worry, we'll get him back. Let's talk about a couple of questions, a couple of things going on. Thank you, Jose, for your comment there in the chat box. Amazing, he says. Tell us how you're doing today. So I can give you a little bit of introduction to our friendship as Asael is struggling to get his internet back together. But I'm going to continue with the presentation, and then we'll talk more about Asael as it goes, okay? So let's get back to it. All right, that's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. This is better. All right, remember, as we're waiting to get more introduction to Asael, you can get your tours over at senora.sarahsclassroom.com. And yes, that is Tours with Asael. He's working directly with us to give you the best experience. So this is a little bit about our friendship. We met when Asael was 16. I think I was like 25. Like, this is like 10 years ago almost. Can you believe it? We met at an international meeting, and I was helping him out a little bit with his English. Asael invited me to visit his family in a tropical region of Mexico. And, well, I'm actually going to text him right now, everybody. Sorry. Go out and come back again. Sorry, everybody. So he invited me to visit his family, and then eventually I liked it so much I ended up living in that region for 4 years of my life, all because of him inviting me to visit. So here's a couple more pictures of our friendship. Yes, Asael was there for the pre-wedding photo shoot. He actually had to run back to the apartment to grab my bouquet because I forgot it. And you have to have that for the wedding photo shoot, right? So what a good friend. It was super early in the morning. And yes, in the background, you're looking at Zocalo. I'm going to write that in the chat box right now. This is the name of the place that you're looking at in the background. Sometimes they also call it Constitution Square. That is in the background. That's the part of Zocalo that is the cathedral. So if you are interested in seeing that, that is part of our tours. And another one here, we have Asael in the car, piled in the back of the car, going to the reception for our wedding. We had a lot of friends in the car. So you can see the ones that didn't tell me I could use this picture. They're happy faces. And he was one of the groomsmen. Yes, I picked the groomsmen as well. Kind of funny. My husband wasn't interested in picking groomsmen. He let me do it. So all of the people in the picture are my friends. So Asael was definitely present for that too. So what a nice friendship we've had for several years. So we're going to get into some of our questions today. Remember, if you have any questions about Mexico City or tours that we offer, pop them in the chat box. And as soon as we get Asael back here, we'll just continue with questions for him. Thank you, Jose. Are the happy face people related since they have the same face? Well, that's a nice question, Jose. Some of them are, some of them are not. Thank you so much. Boy, it's hot in here. So one of my questions I wanted to ask everybody was, let me see if I can, sorry guys, get this back to where I like it. Thank you for your patience as we work with these weird things today. I want to ask you, what do you want to see in Mexico City, or where do you want to visit specifically? Is there some specific location that you want to see in Mexico City? Pop it in a comment below the video or comment in the chat box. Please, I'd love to hear about it. It looks like we got Asael back, so let's come back to his introduction. We'll see if this works now, okay? And, okay, Asael, can you hear us? I don't know if this is going to work for us today. If you can't hear us, go ahead and share your...
Can you hear me now?
Great. We can. You can. So we were just talking about why you... how you learn English. And a little bit about your work. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, I just want to make sure you hear me now.
I can. Yep. I'm going to turn off the music just to make sure, okay? If anybody wants to comment on that in the chat, please do. Okay, you can go ahead and get started. I'm just going to get in here and work on that in the back end here.
Yes,
Okay.
Right. Looks like we're back in business now.
Yes, we're back in business.
Okay.
So yes, tell us about how to...
My name is Asael, right? And I started learning English when I was like 15 years old, and I was
okay.
I was listening to audios and looking at movies and trying to imitate everything, all that I heard, to sound like a local, like a real English speaker. And then I started working for American companies remotely. So that's how I became more fluent and adding more vocabulary to my
Mm-hmm.
more words to my vocabulary actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. Can you hear me okay? Just checking. Okay, I'm going to interject here. Sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting you because it seems like we're having issues with the connection. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on SIL's English because this is a problem that a lot of people comment on when they come to Mexico and they get a tour. They say that they had an English speaking guide, or at least the tour was advertised as an English speaking guide, but the guy didn't really speak English that well and they were super hard to understand. I do not think you are hard to understand. I think it's easy to understand SIL. Anybody else got a comment in the chat box about this? What do you think about SIL's English? Let us know. And also, I was always impressed with SIL when I met him. Yeah, he works really hard. He worked really, really hard. I thought it was crazy as I was showing in the presentation. Give us a thumbs up, Azael, if you can hear me. I wanted to show you the pictures you missed. So, yeah, back when I met him, he was like 16 years old, and man, he already spoke English really well. And he lived in an area where like nobody speaks English in Mexico. He worked so hard to learn, and just really a go-getter. So, absolutely, yes, great English, and also it's super helpful that you work. You said you work for American companies, right? Like call center kind of thing online, and that helps a lot. So, yeah. Oh yeah, JD, look at this. Look
That
at
is
this, SAL. SAL speaks English really well. See? I told you. Thank you, JD. That was very nice. Okay. Hey, we got our first
thank you.
question. SAL, we got our first question. Can the tours be a certain kind, like food only or sightseeing only? Like, are they customizable? What would you like to say to that, SAL?
Absolutely a great yes, because our tours are actually customized. We want everyone to enjoy what they really want, what they're looking for, and not to miss anything. If there's
Mm-hmm.
something that you're not interested in, we don't have to add it to our itinerary. But
Yeah,
yes, it can be definitely customized.
absolutely. Thank you, JD. JD was here for the last live. Thanks for coming again, JD, and for commenting. Fantastic. And you missed the wedding pictures, SIL, but ooh, another good question about tours. I love this, the interaction. How long are the tours? Would you like to answer? Would you like me to answer, SIL?
You can go ahead, and then I can add something as well if needed.
How long are the tours? Well, since this is kind of goes back to the other answer that we gave, tours are totally customizable. So the first tour that I gave, I worked with a couple. They gave me permission to talk about them, by the way, and share their pictures. They were I don't want to say they were elderly, but they were not super young. And so they wanted a tour that was 4 to 6 hours, and they said that was it for them. They couldn't walk more than that. And so that's what we did. Um Others want 8 hours, want a couple of days. So it just depends on what you want, JD, but thank you for answering. Excuse me. Thank you for asking. What do you have to say to it, Azael? Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I totally agree. Tours can be as long as you want. It can be 8 hours, 6 hours. It depends on what you want to see. It also depends, if it's going to be inside, in the city itself or out of the city. Because if you have to go out of the city in the surrounding areas, maybe a full day because of
Yeah.
the transportation and the time that it takes to get there. But
Yeah.
these all can be discussed beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Asayo, you brought up two main points. We discuss it beforehand. How can you discuss it beforehand for us? If you check out the pinned comment that I sent you everyone in the live chat, and that's in the chat replay. If you were watching the replay video, you're going to get a chat replay. Go to the top pinned comment and you're going to see a link to a Google survey that we made for you to tell us about your trip. Tell us about the tour that you're looking for. Look, it's not a long survey. It takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to fill out. I try to make it simple questions, but this is going to help us to form the kind of tour that you want. So let me send that to you. I'm going to resend it right now in the chat, okay? So your answers to these questions, it's coming, there it is going to help us determine how long it needs to be. And to bounce off of your point, Asael, like he said, if you want to go outside of the city, and by outside of the city, we also mean places like Teotihuacan pyramids, even maybe Xochimilco. We'll have a video about that coming up. But Xochimilco is in Mexico City, but it's far down in Mexico City. Your tours are going to be longer. You're probably looking at an 8-hour day. Remember, please, we're dealing with one of the biggest cities in the world, right? And so the traffic is crazy. So, yes. Oh, we have another good question. I think JD is seriously planning a trip here because I'm assuming it's he. Sorry, JD, if you're female. I keep calling you he. Can the tour include going by public transit? Should I answer? Should you answer? All right.
I think you and I have the same answer. Yes, right?
Yes.
Because it's a fun park in Mexico City. It's very, challenging, but at the same time, it's one of the best things to try while being
Yeah.
in Mexico City.
I agree. I think it's just like if you want to get the real experience, you got to like stuff yourself on the metro at like La Hora Pico and just feel the grime of Mexico City. But all joking aside, I mean that's not a joke, but Mexico City also the public transit's a great idea. If two things, here's what I recommend, okay? If you don't have very young kids because they can't, they can't like move as fast and stuff. And if you don't have people with mobility issues, then yeah, do public transit. And JD, I think you've seen a couple of videos I have, right, about the Metro bus and the Metro. Sometimes you can get around Mexico City easier on public transit because the traffic is so bad. But public transit can also kind of be a nightmare. We're fighting to see who will answer. Yeah, that's funny. We've prepared, guys, so we already know what we're gonna say, and we've been friends for a pretty long time. All right, so speaking of friends, real quick, y'all, let's give a quick story. I'm surprising you with this question, okay? Can you give us any, I don't know, funny stories you remember
Mhm.
from our friendship? Anything? It can be embarrassing too. I don't care.
Oh, let me get out my notebook and see what
Get
we
out your
have here.
notebook.
No, I was no,
Hmm.
it was very I want to point out this how we met because we met at our how we call it how's this called international meeting.
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone, and I was very shy, back when I was 16. So I decided to, like talk to someone I didn't know, and that was you next to me.
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and then we exchanged numbers, and we were talking, continuously every week until you accepted a visit, back there where
Yeah.
I lived in the south of Mexico. And we didn't know each other that much, just by speaking by text messages, and that's it. My
Hmm.
family didn't even know who you were, but having someone I didn't know from a different country was like shocking because it was like the first experience I had in my life, when I was young. So I was like, we were like looking at each other like, this is Sarah, and we don't know her. We're just going to know her. She's in our house now, and it was very like weird and weird thing.
Yeah.
But that's what a fun thing that I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I share some of the details there? Como que no te importa si les digo que qué pensé cuando me estabas mandando mensajes y todo Oh,
No,
I don't think you can
adelante,
hear
dilo.
me. Okay, okay. So as you can see the picture, everybody. So I say I was 16 at the time. I was like 24, and so he's sending me these text messages and like inviting me, come visit us, come visit us. And what did I think? Well, I'm like, I'm gonna get in trouble because like this is a minor that's texting me constantly. And so I was like, let me talk to your mom because I don't want her getting the wrong idea or anything. And no, it's not. That's not wasn't the case at all. We've never had any type of romantic interest. He's just a really good friend, and I'm happily married, as you could see in the other pictures. But it was really funny because see, he's even there for our wedding. It's really funny because I got the wrong idea, but truthfully, the people in this region of Mexico are just super hospitable people, right? His whole family just kind of took me in as their own. Very very nice, and yeah, that was a little bit about how we met. I got the wrong idea because being an American, I'm not used to that level of hospitality. But yeah, it was really nice. So okay, let's get back into the tour questions. Okay. So, Sayal, now that you're here, it seems like the internet's cooperating. We got some hellos. We got an hola from Jesus Cruz. Saludos, Jesus. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias por venir. Also, let's talk about Mexico City. Asael, tell
Hola,
us
Jesús.
why do you why do you love Mexico City? Because Asael's not from Mexico City; he's from another region, and it's kind of funny. We both ended up like moving to Mexico City around the same time. What do you love about it, Asael? Tell us.
Right? Yeah, I love this question because it brings me back, or it takes me back, when I came here for the first time. I fell in love with the city, the contrast that you get when you have very green areas and then high buildings like in Reforma, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of history in the streets, a lot of monuments and churches, from like 500 years ago. A lot of history that you can read when walking around the city, but also how easy it is to get opportunities here for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
The city is very alive, and there haven't been any time where I've felt like lonely or bored. There's always
Mm-hmm.
something to do. And something I love about the city also is the weather. It's because
Mm-hmm.
not that extreme or hot as in the north or in the south. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
privileged. When it rains, we know it's gonna be coffee time, and that's it.
Like now?
That fixes everything for the day. And I
Yeah,
could
pan
go
dulce.
on, but that's one of the things I fell in love with.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that too. The weather, like you said, is very privileged. That's a surprise for a lot of people. A lot of people hear Mexico and they just think hot, right? While that's true right now, we're in the middle of a heat wave right now. It's still nothing compared to the tropical coast of Mexico. Um, I wanted to share a few reasons from my perspective, if why I love Mexico City. I came to Mexico City back in 2014, as many of you probably know, and I remember that feeling when I first got here. I remember descending in the airplane, and I had goosebumps when I saw the city. I just first of all, the mountains pop out at you because the Mexico City, if you didn't know, is super high up in the mountains, which is why the weather is so fantastic. So the mountains are gorgeous, and I saw the city and it just kept going and going and going and going. And I was like, I couldn't believe how big it was. I was like, oh my God. I'm from West Virginia, y'all. Look, I'm from a town with 2,000 people. There's more people on my city block than there is in my whole town in West Virginia. like, um, but it's amazing. Like, just what we were just talking about, you said, especially the historic downtown area. That's in the picture, everybody. You can see that. Let's see if we can make that a little bigger. There we go. The historic downtown area is my favorite place because there's over 1,500 historic buildings in this area. You can see a building where Hernan Cortez lived. You can see the area where Moctezuma walked. I mean, it's so amazing. The energy, it just, I know I already said goosebumps, but you just get goosebumps when you're walking around, just seeing all these like 500-year-old buildings. It's so cool. And of course, the food. I mean, what's your favorite food here, Asael? We got to talk about that.
Yeah, food definitely. Chilaquiles. Those are my favorites.
Oh,
And tacos campechanos, the suadero and the
oh,
longaniza. I love
yes.
those. I could eat them every.
Tacos campechanos. I didn't know that was one of your favorites. They're super good, but man, like, te van a dar gastritis. Like, But who cares? Who
I'm used to
cares?
it already.
I can't vivir la vida, right? Like, okay.
You got the
We got
point. Yeah, exactly.
we got a
What's
couple
yours?
comments. Tacos al pastor. Tacos al pastor. I love them.
Great.
If anybody has a
Amazing.
comment, tell us about your favorite Mexican food. And I said Mexican, not Tex-Mex. I don't want to hear about your burritos. Mexican. All right. We got a couple comments. JD coming in hot with the comments. Thank you. He says he wants to learn about its history during a tour. We're going to talk about that. That is one of the best things. The history is amazing. So yes, we're going to talk about that. And he also says, love how green many areas in the city look. This is incredible to me because we are going through one of the worst droughts in the history of Mexico City, and it's still green. The trees must have some incredible roots because yeah. But yeah, so green areas, if you're looking for a green area, you got to go to Chapultepec Forest. It's Bosque de Chapultepec. And we do tours, and that's also where the castle is. That's right, the castle. Okay, let's get into it. I'm talking too much, as usual. We will get into your thing more, JD, where you said about history. But let's get back to our doohickey here. Hang on one second. All right. Okay. So tell us this question here. What do you want people to experience in Mexico City? As a tour provider, please tell us. What do you want people to experience here, SAL?
All right.
I th-
The beauty of the city. And when I say beauty, I mean historic places and its
mm-hmm.
story. The dates, because there are many places like the Monumento a la Revolución that it was supposed to
Right.
be built for a purpose, but then it was stuck and no one cared about it for a long time. And then it was, someone to, how you say that? I forgot the name, but like
Take it.
retomar or retake the construction,
Yeah, like they
and
picked
now
up the
it turned
project
being a
again.
different building, or its purpose was different now. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's right. So seeing buildings like this, that those have survived war and a lot of revolutions,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different presidents, it's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, the food, the hospitality of the people here. And, in the news, we see very bad things like criminals, all those things, but people are very, hospitable and
Mm-hmm.
charming. They try to help you every time, as much as they can.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you find someone who doesn't speak the Spanish, they try to, Google Translate something and do it for you.
Yeah.
Also, it's a lot to see, here, and it takes like 1 or 2 weeks to see everything. But not only
Mm-hmm.
Mexico City, but its surroundings as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I, would say, to see museums, places, parks, the forest,
Mm-hmm.
the historic downtown, etc. More.
Yeah. Such good stuff. You have so many. There's so many good things I could pull out of what you just said, but I just wanted to highlight what he said about the people. Um, Especially if you're in the United States. I know the news that you see in the United States, and it's all about drugs and war and the danger and the crime and I'm not saying that those things don't exist in Mexico because they do, right? But first of all, they're in very isolated pockets of Mexico, and there's so much more good than there is bad. It's truly an amazing place. I am not telling you to come here and throw caution to the wind. You got to be careful, but really, the people are amazing. Mexican people are wonderful. I mean, there's a reason I've been here for a decade. You know, especially if you, in my case, I felt when I came here, I was in a place in my life where I kind of felt lonely and alone, and I came here, and man, the Mexican people just take you in like one of their own, and they really, if you're on a tour or trying to buy something, I mean, they're not stuck up people that insist that you speak Spanish. They really try their best to help you. And in Mexico City, a lot of times the people do speak English, or at least something. They're at least familiar with something, right? Would you agree, SIL?
Yeah,
You can hear me.
totally. And as I said before, they try to help you as much as they can. Even if they
Mhm.
don't, they might call someone, because that's what I saw. Someone They call someone
Oh
who speaks
yeah.
Spanish and to help you translate something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I love about the people. And
Yeah, absolutely. I've told this story before here on the channel that people, I remember back when I was single, sometimes I would be carrying huge suitcases in the metro up like 50 stairs. Oh my God. And I knew I was going to get help. I
oof.
knew it. And I always did. There was always a random Mexican guy that would see me struggling and help me because that's the kind of people they are. They're so nice. So I'm not telling you to do that. Don't take heavy suitcases on the metro, please. But that's just to show the kindness of the Mexican people, really. So yeah, they really are wonderful. So let's get into, if you are interested in a tour in Mexico City, I have put this link for this Google form in the chat, and I'm also going to put it in the pinned comment below if you're watching the replay. So you can do this survey, tell us what you're looking for, and let's get to see if we have any questions. Okay, see any questions or comments? Great to hear about the people. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you also for sticking around, JD, and I think Jose is still with us. Really appreciate it. That's so nice. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to it. So, next question. What makes us different? Why are we different? There's a bajillion people that are offering tours in Mexico City. Why are we different, Asael?
Why are we different? Well,
Mm,
that's nice. What we want, for the most part, is everyone to enjoy and get the most out of the city as much as possible. But what I always, look for, and as you and I look for, as we said before, is to customize everything,
mm-hmm,
to take you to places that you really want to see and to visit and to learn about, to try food that you really want to.
mm-hmm,
And that's one of the things. The other things is that we care, for your safety. So
mm-hmm,
having someone by your side that knows where we are going and how to get there, to try to get around the city in the middle of a march or something. I feel that that's really helpful, because you know that you can
mm-hmm.
count on someone that knows where we are.
Yeah.
Also, what we see, you and I, is that we really want everyone to see the best, or the beautiful side of Mexico City. Not only crimes, as you said in the news, what the news show,
Mm-hmm,
but to see history and the beauty, and a lot of things that I couldn't even today itself. But I would highlight those
mm-hmm.
2 points, caring for your safety, and customizing everything so you may get the most out of
Yeah.
everything in the city.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love those points. I also wanted to say some people feel a little overwhelmed when we say customizing everything. He's absolutely right. We can customize everything, but if you're one of those people that you come to us and you say, I have no idea what I want to do, I don't know anything about Mexico City, don't worry. We have like suggested packages that will take like maximize your time. We try to maximize your time, minimize your time wasted in traffic or on public transportation, and hit some of the best highlights. And we don't have a hidden agenda, right? Like we don't have, a buddy over at that taco stand and we want to go there so that you buy their tacos. We don't care. Like, I mean, we care. We want everybody to benefit, right? But we want you to have the tour that you want. And you'll find that I know I keep talking about the Google survey, but in the Google survey that I put in the chat, I also ask you a few questions to get to know what you want better. That means, do you want more of an all-inclusive experience, as JD was saying? Do you want more of a food tour? Do you want to skip the shopping? You're not interested in shopping. Do you like museums but you want the light experience? What do you want? We're going to customize that. And I want to share a couple of my points because I think I bring something unique to the table when it comes to giving you tours from an American perspective. So I already talked about how I felt. Oops, we'll get back to that. How I felt as I was descending into Mexico City. I came alone, a woman alone. And as you can see, I'm a white person. So I kind of stick out, right, Asael? So um, I came to visit a friend in Mexico that I'd never met before. It was the stupidest decision of my life. It was a male friend that I had met on the internet, and I came to meet him here. And I didn't realize how stupid that choice was until I was getting off the airplane. I almost got in a panic attack. because I thought, oh my God, if he wants to kidnap me, this is the perfect opportunity. Well, he did not, thankfully. But that story was to tell you, like, I understand how it feels coming from a small town and jumping into one of the biggest cities in the world. And I can help you navigate some situations that locals would be perfectly fine with, but you might be uncomfortable with. For example, sitting at a restaurant at some of these amazing outdoor places and having people come up to you asking you for money during your meal. Look, this is a normal experience here in Mexico, but as a foreigner, if you've never experienced this, this could be really, really uncomfortable. So it's like little things like that. Another big issue that I found here that is not a problem for people is the bathroom. Bathrooms are hit or miss in Mexico City, okay? And in the US, we're used to a certain standard, and in Mexico City, they're all over the place. Local tour guides may not think about that stuff, but I do, and Asael does because he's used to American culture, and so we're gonna make sure your experience is as comfortable as possible, even when it comes to the restrooms. Okay. Also, we live here. We are not YouTubers that just I'm skipping around. Sorry, we're not YouTubers that just visited Mexico City for 3 days and we want to give you the highlights. We live in Mexico City, and so as I mentioned at the beginning, Asael lives in the heart of things. Right, I live in Mexico City, but I can't get in and really comb through the city like he can. But he can get out there and, like I said, boots on the ground, really dig in to see what if the stuff is good, if it's worth it. And he also mentioned something else really important. He said, if there's a protest, if there's a random pop-up political march or something, we can get you around that stuff because that stuff happens, especially right now, right, SIL? It's election time, and this kind of stuff happens. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, randomly. And then you're
correct.
like, holy cow, where do I go now? Where I was going to go is completely blocked off with a bunch of people, and you don't even want to be there because you don't know if it's going to get violent, right? So, anyway, yeah. So I got some comments. Sorry. Wait. We got some comments. Cerveza. Okay. Yeah, we can absolutely craft that. Now I have to give you a caution. We're not bar hopping types of people. If you are a kind of person that wants to try out some beer, then we'll be happy to design a tour for you. If you're the kind of person looking for a tour where you go get punch drunk at midnight, not really our thing. But I'm not judging you, okay? Not judging you. All right, let's get back to it. Thank you for comments in the chat box. The shipping, the food, the beer. Maybe you shopping? Okay. I would love to see this question at the bottom. Tell us either below the video or in the chat. Tell us something you've experienced on a guided tour anywhere. Doesn't have to be Mexico. That you didn't like. We want to know what you don't like because we want to avoid that stuff in our tours. Okay. So I'm talking a lot as usual, right, Asael? Did you have anything to add so far before I continue rattling? uh,
No, that's fine. I just wanted to. I think this is something how can like logic be anyone and drop them off at the airport as well. From that point, taking them to the hotel, and then taking them by getting them around the city. So
mhm, mhm,
the point is, if you want to have like your own space and your own time, like alone time, have a free day for yourself, that's fine. That's also
mhm.
um, possible. You don't
Yeah.
have to be with us the 24/7. So if you want to, get 1 or 2 days or midday for yourself and your family, that's totally fine and great.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So like we don't have to be attached at the hip if they don't want us attached at the hip. Yeah. We got some comments having ways to guide you through the protest. Yes. Yeah, this is a good point. So JD is talking about having Waze or Google Maps. These are different apps to help you. Yeah, if you're planning to drive, I strongly discourage you from driving in Mexico City because it's a nightmare. But if you are going to drive here, yeah, definitely. And I think we didn't hear everything Asael said, so I'm just going to kind of repeat a little bit of what you said, Asael. Keeping an open mind, we offer also other services. So Asael is a professional driver for NASCAR. No, I'm just kidding, not NASCAR. He's a professional driver as well. And so if you need something simpler, like you need an airport pickup and drop off with somebody that you trust, He can do that for you. He has a very nice car, Honda CRV with air conditioning. It's very comfortable. I did not add pictures of it here today, but if you need that, he can help you with that. And yeah, so there's lots of different things. We got a comment. We won't have to be attached like Siamese twins. Yeah. I also wanted to share for anybody interested in tours, just so that you know, I probably will not be present. Okay, so sometimes people will think, oh, we're going to meet Senora Sarah. Maybe not. Okay, so let's just make that clear. That's why we have Asael now. Asael's are the expert. So let's pop in. Okay. Oh yeah, Asael using Waze. Okay. Tell us about the tours. Okay, so I've already talked your head off about the customize. They do start at this price. Oops, again, I'm messing this up. I'm thinking it's Zoom and it's not. Starting at $99 a person. We do dollars, and we pay in PayPal, and we're working on other ways. Okay, this is starting at, and it depends on what you add and all of that. Price is subject to change with life, right? We can do lots of different things. So I wanted to highlight a couple of my favorites, and then we're going to talk about this last point about not being licensed in a minute. We can offer packages that are suggested for you, just in case you're like coming into this blind and you have no idea what to do. Don't worry, we'll help you. Okay. Also, check out other videos on the channel about suggested things to do as well. If you're totally lost, shameless plug. My favorite area is Centro Histórico, just because there's so much to do in that area. But also the castle. The castle at Chapultepec is amazing. What do you think, Asael? What are some of the places you recommend people go when they visit Mexico City?
One of my favorite places
Let's just give them a second, guys. It's
because it looks like a little village, a little town, very old,
Hey, Asael, you
a
cut
lot of
out. Can you
history, a lot
can
of
you
good
please tell us again where that was?
food.
What that place
You
was?
can go out, and so you can, and from the noisy city as well. Coyoacan.
Ah, Coyoacan. Oh, yes. Coyoacan is so cool. Okay, so I'm going to write the
Yeah,
name of
I
that in
was
the chat
wondering if you can
box.
hear me now because it's acting up.
Yeah, I can now. Yeah. So I just wrote the name of that in the chat for everybody. Coyoacan. That's a area of Mexico City, which is it's not the cheapest area, but it is worth it. It is so cool. Coyoacan is so cool. Okay, so he's recommending Coyoacan. While we're getting you back, Asael, I want to talk to everybody about this situation where I said not licensed. Everybody, this is full transparency. You're talking about authenticity and transparency, and this is extremely important to us here at Senora Sarah. We're not licensed to give lengthy or detailed explanations at archaeological sites. Let me explain what that means, and tell me in the chat or in the comments below, is that important to you? Do you care that we're licensed or not? If it is important to you, let us know, because we might work on that if we need to. What it means is we cannot go into like the Aztec temple ruins and give you that deep, detailed explanation that you want, or like not Coyoacan, sorry, Teotihuacan pyramids. Most of the places in the city we can do that, like the buildings and the streets and getting you on the food tour and all that. We can give you all of the details. But when it comes to those archaeological sites, it's a legal issue. We're not licensed. It is not easy to get licensed. This is a project that takes years and it's very difficult. And I don't want to if I don't have to. But we can give you an amazing experience here in Mexico City. So I just wanted to make that clear. If you are wanting to go to like the pyramids or the ruins at the Aztec temple and you want to get in there and get like all of the super deep detailed information, we can help you work with somebody that can do that for you. And they do a great job, actually. I heard sometimes they're just like standing right outside of like the Templo Mayor, and you can just hire them on the spot. But we cannot do that. I would like to, we cannot. Future video coming up. By the way, there's a picture of me on our tour with Peter and MJ. Shout out Peter and MJ if you're watching this. Shout out. Okay. So, that's some of the stuff about the tours. Was there anything else, Asael, you wanted to say about the tours? I don't know. Sorry, guys, we're having a little,
Oh,
the
there's
rain. We're
something I
not gonna.
want. There's a lot I want to say, but the
Okay,
top, I don't think it's possible.
you don't think it's possible because of the internet? Okay. Well, we'll get more into that later. We also have some specifics, like specific top spots we think you should visit. Let's pop in here. What are your top 3 must-see places? I'm going to talk about this real quick. For me, it's the place in the picture. If you know where this is in the picture, comment below. I'm not going to tell you the name of this place just yet. Comment below or comment in the live chat right now if you know where this place is. I would love to see it. Love to see if you know what it is. So this place blew my mind. It's amazing. The pictures don't do it justice. I'm going to give you a second to think about the name of this place. Also, a couple of places I think you must see. In my opinion, the castle, Chapultepec Castle. I have a video on the channel about Chapultepec Castle. And what was the other place? Sorry, I'm like losing it. Chapultepec, this place. It's called, I'm going to type it for you. I'm going to try my best to spell it right. Here it comes. Drum roll, please. Teotihuacan. This is Teotihuacan pyramids. Yeah, good question, Jose, my boy. It's in Mexico? Yeah, this is in Mexico. This is about an hour outside of Mexico City. They're not the biggest pyramids in the world, but they're close. They're close. And it is amazing. Like when you're walking by these pyramids, oh my goodness, Asael, would you agree with me? Like this place is so amazing. This place, Teotihuacan. Wow. Let's see if he can hear me. All right. I don't think we're gonna hear Asael for a second. So yeah, this is Asael. If you can hear us, we'd love to hear some of your top places you think people have to see when they visit Mexico City.
It's hard, like where a lot of things that you see there, the ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. I love this question. We got a question here. Jose, my boy, can you Rocky run to the top of the pyramid? That would be epic. Well, I will buy you lunch if you are physically capable of Rocky running to the top of that pyramid. I have climbed it. Now, they don't let you climb anymore, unfortunately. They said since COVID, they stopped allowing climbing it. How tall is it though? Asael, do you know how tall the pyramid of the sun is at Teotihuacan? It is so tall and it is so difficult. I'm going to look this up right now. If anybody does know, tell us in the chat too. How tall is Teotihuacan pyramid of the sun? That's the pyramid of the sun. In the picture, if you look real close, everybody, you can see there are people on it. So this is an old picture. But how tall is it? Not when was it built? Oh, I put how old. Duh. Okay, it's 216 feet tall, so it's 66 meters. Look, I'm kind of like overweight and not in shape at all, and so that was by the time I get to the top of that, I'm dead. But that was a long time ago. They won't let you climb anymore. But like I said, yes, if you're capable, I'll buy you lunch, Jose, because that's really hard. And then JD also, that's funny. You said you knew Teotihuacan, but you didn't know how to spell it. I can't even guarantee that I spelled it right. Oh, JD, so don't worry. Okay, let's just check and see if Asael can hear us, guys. In the meantime, if you do have questions about Mexico City or tours, please pop them in the chat as usual. Asael, can you hear us? Hello, hello. Thank you for your patience, guys. You know, live streams. This is part of the deal. I'm also going to text him and see. Can you hear us? I promise the real live experience is not. He's not going to freeze when you book your tour. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue, and he'll get back in here when he gets back in here. Okay, everybody. So I'd also love to know the answer to this question. What is not important to you when you visit Mexico City? Is there anything that you think you really don't care about? Like you don't care if you see that particular thing. You're not really into a certain kind of museum. Um, you're not into a certain tourist site, that kind of thing. I am not a big shopper when I'm on vacation, and so I don't care about shopping at all. I just want to pick up a little trinket here and there. But yeah, Asael just said that his internet's getting worse. So we may have lost him for the day, but that's okay. He's going to be around. Let me know if there's anything that's not important to you when you visit Mexico City. Please tell us. What should people skip? This was part of the thumbnail today. And you see a picture of the angel, El Ángel de la Independencia, the angel of independence. Sometimes they call it the monument of independence. I'm going to give you a teaser of the upcoming video on Monday. Tune in for that, please. I think the Angel of Independence is not as exciting as one would think. Some people put this on their list and like, oh, I gotta see the angel. Couple of reasons. Number one, you can't really see it. Like, this is a great picture of the angel. It's beautiful, right? But it's super high up. And so the reality is it's this little thing that you're seeing and you can't you can't really see it that well. You can, as you see in the picture, there's like a little balcony around with like a door right underneath her feet. You can book a tour to actually go up into the angel and get up there. I've never seen anybody do it. It's difficult. You don't do it right there. You have to go to some other government building to do it. I haven't figured it out yet. So I've never seen anybody up there. So I think the angel is a little bit not as exciting as people say it is. If you do want to see the angel, it should kind of be a passing thing that you do, maybe while you're on the Metrobus Line 7 at night on the second floor. Then you should see the Angel of Independence, but don't make it like a stop that is taking time out of your day. If you happen to drive by it, awesome. That's my personal opinion, and we are doing a video, like I said, on Monday about that. Let me see. Ooh, oh, we got some really good points. Yeah, we've lost Asael, everybody, but that's okay. He's texting us. Modern art is, I'm not really interested in that. Thank you, Jose, my boy. Me too. I like art, but modern art, I love how you put art as well. Yeah, yeah, modern art. I just don't think it's real. I mean, went to a modern art museum once in New York City. I had a great time making fun of it. If you like modern art, I'm not trying to offend you. And if you really want to go to modern art museums when you're here, well, we'll take you. But I'm not really interested in it either. No shopping and tips to avoid tourist traps. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Tourist traps are not our thing. We really want you to avoid those tourist traps as well. And yeah, shopping, like all of the stuff that you're going to see is the same everywhere else. It's like if you want a little trinket, grab it, get it anywhere, and move on with your life, right? So thank you for sharing, Jose and JD. We're going to continue here. We have just a couple more things, and we're just about done with this presentation. I just wanted to give a couple things. So a couple more things. This was other services that Asael offers, and also what we offer. So if you want any of the services, including not anything, but if you want to book a tour, you can use that link that we sent you, or you can go to senora.sarahsclassroom.com. I'm updating this website constantly, but you can also find other things, which we'll talk about over there in just a second. Remember, Asael is a professional driver, so if you just need getting around town, pick up and drop off service from the airport, Asael can do that. If you need help with translation, but not medical stuff, okay, but just general translation, we would be happy to help you with that. And yeah, please feel free to send us a message. You can send us a message over up here, guys. You can see. Can you see the Instagram handle senora.sarah? You can send me a message there. You can go to senora.sarahsclassroom.com. You can send me an email over at senora.sarah@senora.sarahsclassroom.com. I'm writing that right now. Please give me just a second. senora.sarahsclassroom.com. Azael just messaged me and said, "Am I fired?" Of course, you're not fired. Fired for bad internet. Come on. That's not his fault. Let's just show Asael a little love in the chat, everybody. He's feeling nervous because his internet went out. It's part of being live, right? All right. So that is our presentation for you today about tours in Mexico City. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just in case. If anybody has any more questions about tours in Mexico City, pop a message over in the chat, or you can always, of course, comment below this video if you have any questions in the live replay. I would love to help you. Definitely less modern art, no shopping. I'm with you guys. I mean, what we really want is the food, right? Absolutely. Okay, Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate those that were here live. Thank you so much. You make this more interactive and fun. And if you aren't here live because maybe you can't join us, that's okay. Thank you for watching anyway. I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for today. Remember, if you need Spanish classes, you can also find that at senora.sarahsclassroom.com. And please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. We've got Mexico City content coming out constantly. Every other Monday, there's a new video. And then on the off weeks, every other Friday, you're going to get a new live. And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please do that. Instagram is senora.sarah. We have a great question in the chat box. Thank you, JD. Can the tours be multi-day? Yes. Yes, we can do multi-day tours for you. And we'll probably, depending on the length and the amount of people in the tour, we could talk about special pricing for that because that's a big thing to book, right? So awesome. Yep. And as I was also saying, we can take you outside of Mexico City as well. So like the pyramids of Teotihuacan are outside of Mexico City, but we are working on building nice tours to go out there. And also there's some places that he's investigating, like in Puebla and in different places that are really close to Mexico City, within an hour or two of driving distance, that he could take you as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. It was really nice to have you, and for meeting Asael. We would love to take you on a tour. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Hasta luego. See you. Goodbye.